New York City's small property landlords are hurting, explains Mayor Adams. Subscribe, like, and share. Mayor Eric Adams is being asked by a journalist regarding an increase in income that has been reported for landlords in New York City. Let's listen.
Is that report? So when you do reports like that of citywide averages, you're taking the Manhattan and expensive luxury buildings into account. When you speak to those 10 family houses, 13 family houses, single immigrants who have come here to the city or have come from the South, and they put everything they have into their buildings, they're hurting. They're hurting. You know, many of them are dealing when tenants are dealing with fiscal problems. Many of those that are not paying rent, that comes out of the pockets of these small property owners. I keep talking about these small property landowners, and everyone is dismissive of them, but they are hurting in this city, and no one seems to understand how much the impact on tenants have impacted them. Because if somebody's not paying their rent, then the property landowners can't pay for their mortgages, can't pay for the heat, can't pay for their housing. And so a report that shows overall, I don't think is going to show how these small property owners and what they're going through. And we have to be very conscious of them because the wealth of black and brown people, that wealth lies in their property. You know, all of my wealth is in my house. And if I can't maintain my house, then I'm losing my wealth. And that is what's happening to black and brown communities in the city. Maria?
Yes, Mayor. So the mayor's absolutely right. So in that same study, Joe, while Manhattan NOI increases were found as those buildings have rebounded, precisely the type of building that the mayor mentioned. So in the Bronx, those buildings, their net income declined by 14%. So we are at the start of the rent guidelines board process, as everyone knows. That is a several month process that leads to a preliminary vote around May and then a final vote in June. They make independent decisions based on data, based on analysis. In the first meeting last week, they did look at this issue and this data, and also at the results of the housing vacancy survey that HPD recently completed that shows the historic low vacancy rate. So that process is going to unfold. They have to take all of these pieces of data, and we know that they'll get to the right balance and to the right place. But for those who do watch the public hearings, they're pretty animated, right? And you hear both from landlords and from tenants about the strain that they are facing, and we hear it year over year. We were reminded every year through the rent guidelines board process about constraints on both sides. And so, what that highlights even more is that we need more tools. And the good news is that we are fighting for those exact tools at every level of government, at the city level, working with the city council for the city of Yes for housing opportunity, obviously in Albany for the critical tools that we need to boost supply, and with the federal government for the resources that we need to boost our ability to finance more affordable housing. And so I say all of that because the rent guidelines board process will run its course this year, but we have to really think bigger and find the right types of tools to not be engaged in the same debate year after year, leading to the same housing crisis that affects too many New Yorkers. We do have a plan, and we're advocating every day. And right after this off topic, we're going to get back to making sure we're making those voices and our needs clear to lawmakers in Albany.